In Ephesians chapter 4, we went through a lot of things concerning the body of Christ, concerning the fivefold ministry from verse 11 right on down, and I mean a lot of instruction just about the church, how the church works together, how we all fit together, all our gifts and callings fit together, and how we grow. We literally, the body of Christ will grow by each one of us doing our share and hooking in and being part of the body that we're supposed to be part of. And now we're getting back to verse 17, and Paul is going to start talking. I'm just summarizing this here before we get into it just a little bit, but Paul's going to start talking a lot about, still, if you remember when we were in like chapter 2, he was talking about what we once were, what we now are. Well, here, he's basically saying, he gets a little more point and direct. He's talking a lot more like, okay, what you once were, you shouldn't be acting like now. And this is what you should be putting on. So he is actually getting more practical, and he starts talking about quite a few things in here. And it's just so neat because a lot of the things we're going to see. So let's go to verse 17. This I say, therefore, and testify in the Lord, that you should no longer walk as the rest of the Gentiles walk, in the futility of their mind. Now, if you notice here, he says, I'm testifying this in the Lord. He says, what I am telling you, the Lord's backing me up on this. If you want to know the Lord's mind, that's what that means. This is the Lord's mind. This is what the Lord thinks about this. He said, you should no longer walk as the rest of the Gentiles walk, in the futility of their mind. Now that word futility, I'm looking here, that word for futility, if you look that up in Strong's Concordance, it actually says moral depravity. Moral depravity. In the Amplified, it actually says that you must no longer live as the heathen Gentiles do in the perverseness, in the folly, the vanity, the emptiness of their souls, the futility of their minds. Basically, Gentiles not born again, and the thing is, he says, don't walk like those old Gentiles anymore. Why? Because that's exactly what we are. He's writing Gentiles who receive Jesus. He said, don't walk with that aimlessness, with that no purpose, without knowing. I mean, you shouldn't be living in futility of your mind. You should know what you were created for, what you were gifted for, what you literally are supposed to be doing on this planet. Everything that you are supposed to fulfill and do on your days while you're here on the earth. You should know those things. Gentiles, separate from God, if a Gentile's not born again, and that basically means if you're a non-Jew and you're not born again, you do not clearly know. Now, some people kind of stumble upon it because they're smart enough to see the things they like doing, don't like doing, and what they're good at. But you can literally know, if you're born again, you don't have to walk with that aimlessness and that purpose. You can know and live in the plan of God for your life.